Thank you very much. Thank you to all my listeners. It is actually a very appropriate way because, the study of Sanatana Dharma has to be without any expectation. The study of Sanatana Dharma is the study of the actual existence of things and order that we have inherited from, we do not know when. It is Anadi and it is Ananta. Certain indriyas, certain things have been inherited, which has come from ages to ages. And the study of this has to be very, for our own sake, to be aligning ourselves with the nature, what we have inherited, based on the five bhutas, Panchabhutas. So that should be the basic purpose of study of Sanatana. Let us not confuse ourselves. It has to be without any expectation. It has to be without any ego, greed, or any such qualities. Let me explain what is Sanatana. See, I will simply say that Sanatana means eternal, which has got no beginning, no end. Dharma is the order. The eternal order is what is Sanatana. From time immemorial, certain facts have been validated. It has been biologically proved. I will start with the human body, Deha. Indriya. Indriya means the parts of the body. Please interrupt me if you have any questions. The human body consists of 33 vertebrae. Many of you might be biology students who may know about what is a vertebrae. Vertebrae is the backbone. Whether we have a vertical vertebrae on the basis of which we are able to stand vertically. And these 33 vertebrae are the very essence of which gives us the entire power from here. And incidentally, our ancient scripts, whether it was the Sharda script or the Brahmi script or the Devanagari script, also had 33 consonants. And beautifully, they had one-to-one correspondence, one-to-one relationship with each consonant. For example, Sha means there is a particular impact on the vertebrae. Sha, she had a different impact. Why is a different impact. So this is what actually when people, I'll come to these structures later, but when people ask after the prayers, most of the stutis and smritis, shlokas, everything, afterwards there's a phalasthuti, what is the performance part of it. We say, what have I said all of this before? Please kindly vest me with this. In Vishnu Sahasranama, Phalasthuti, it is said, Indriyanam Manobuddhi. Indriyanam Manobuddhi Sattvam Tejo Balam Dhriti. By recitation, first the Indriya, then the Mano, then the Buddhi, then the Tejas. That is the ecosystem where I am operating. All of them everything has an impact. First the Indriyas. When I say Shiva, 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 Shiva means Kalyana, the positivity of the Shiva will come. And as a consequence to that, first the body gets cleansed. Then you go after this. Second part is the Mano. The mind gets, the thinking processes get things. Then the Buddhi, the ability to analyze and all, that gets positively motivated, positively turned. Then the Tejo, or the ecosystem in which we are operating, where you emit, that also gets positive. So this is the essence of Sanatana. This is how this eternal order, the 33 vertebrae, the 33 consonants have been there in this picture ever since we do not know when. And it will continue to be there. Man will continue to have 33 vertebrae. This is a biological fact, which is cannot be repudiated. The Sanatana essence starts from here. The eternal order starts from here. So this is how the language and the body, watches and the deha get interlinked. Any questions on anybody wants to challenge me, kindly do it. But this is how they get interlinked. And this is the essence, the beginning part of Sanatana. And this has been in eternity. It will continue to be exist. So that is the way Sanatana begins. And now I take you to the second part. The second stage of Sanatana is Bhava. You must have heard of the word Bhava. Bhavati, Bhavata, Bhavanti. Bhava means exists. What exists? In whatever exists. In modern physics or the later on sciences and all are known as the matter. Matter. The process of existence is also Shiva. That is the reason they call it Shivaya Namaha, Bhavaya Namaha. Shiva, Bhava. So it exists. Whatever exists is Bhava. It is also a very clear concept of Sanatana that Bhava means exist or matter. Now I will take you to a very interesting thing. The entire science, there are only two conservation theories which have been defined. That is the law of conservation of mass and the law of conservation of energy. Mass is defined as the matter contained in the body. So shall we call the mass as Bhava? Or Bhava or Shiva? Shiva is also known as Shankara. Kara, every Kara, Mayas Kara. So the Kara is the process, the work done. The Kara is work done. And for every work done, what is work done? Work done has been defined that in the Newton's first law that the element shall continue to be in a state of rest or unless an external force acts upon it. In a state of rest, it is still a work being done. And when external force acts, there is a force. That is what is measured as the energy part of it. That is the reason, and they say energy is never destroyed or created. So energy is named as the capacity to do work. So we can say the work done is the process, it's got the Bhava of the existence of Shiva, and the consort of that is the power to exist also is there, whether the energy, acceleration due to gravity and all that discovered later, but it continued to exist prior to that. And we had already known that. Bhava, Bhavani, Shiva, Shakti. So that is where comes the Shiva Shakti continuum. That is where the Shiva Shakti is established. Every process in the universe, in the eternity has had a process, is a continuous process. People call it metabolism, people call it aging, people call it in whatever sense. And for that metabolism or the work done to happen, there is the energy acting upon it. This is established physics. I'm not saying anything like that. And all these principles have come out from the Shiva Shakti continuum, which we have inherited in the Sanatana order, Sanatana Dharma. Eternal order has also already said that. Whether they told it in the form of metabolism or whatever it is there. But people we are taught in the modern education system, whether it is call it Machiavellian, Machiavellian, or call it English education system or the modern education system or the NCR, everywhere, if you try to relate it, it is all coming out well founded in the Sanatana eternal order. That is the element of Sanatana, that is the premise of Sanatana. Sanatana means that there is a Shiva. We call it Jivaratna, we call it Mahadeva, we call him several names. But every name has a particular reason. Now let us take the process of, let us say the process of maintenance. How do we maintain ourselves? That is a process to live. To live, we require certain, it's a process. A living being goes through a process. What requires for living being going through a process, or non-living being, or whatever it is, requires for a maintenance, it's a process. And that maintenance process we define in our Sanatana Dharma as Vishnu. So the process is defined, the work done is Vishnu. What is the commensurate Shakti required, power required, energy required? What is the commensurate energy required is Sampatti, the resources. That is the reason we say Sampatti is required to, Sampatti is required for maintenance. That is the manifestation of Lakshmi. That is the manifestation of how the Shiva Shakti consortium, similarly Lakshmi Narayana or Sampatti continuum, consortium. It's a consortium. It is very, just for the basic reason we are been told that the wife of Shiva is Parvati or Lakshmi or Shakti or whatever it is. I will explain that in the later part of the series. But basically, it is a consortium. It's a combination, like the consort. The actual word used is consort. Consort means they themselves combine together, partner together to sustain the world. Let us imagine a situation where there is no sampatti. Can the living beings survive? No. There will be utter disorder. The Sanatana order will be disturbed. The processes and the orders will be disturbed. The processes will get arrested. The order will be disturbed. Many places where there is a food shortage, crisis and all, that is very relevant here. So that is the second part of it. Similarly, to create something, what do we require? What is the process of creation denoted in Sanatana? Process of creation denoted in Sanatana is Brahma. Brahma is the process of creation. What is the commensurate Shakti required is known as Vidya, that is skills, competencies, creativity, ability, Vidya, knowledge, all those. Without that, you cannot create. You require skills. Whether it is a Prajapati or whether it is a Vedagyani, whomsoever it is, to create a Granth or create something else, artisan. Everything, you require some sort of, in some manifestation, the Vidya has to be there. The power of creation has to be there through skills, competencies, thinking, rationality, even rationality. Even the rational thing. So that is how the Sanatana is. And this is eternal. This is not going to end someday. That somebody, somewhere, something will create something for us. This has to be there, that somebody embedded with the Vidya, competencies, skills, whatever it is, call it, is going to create it for us. It is not going to be absent. And for every work done, there is a energy expended. And the energy expended again gets from the kinetic to potential energy to kinetic energy, it takes in some other form. That is the way it is explained. So this is what is Sanatana's very basic precept. All the scientific principles, postulates have evolved from this. If anybody has a challenge, if anybody challenges this, he cannot forget the fact that it is a Shiva Shakti continuum. In this manifestation or in some other manifestation, it is going to be the theme behind the Sanatana, the theme behind the scientific postulation which is happening. That is the reason why I always say Sanatana means an eternal order, what we have inherited and what we will hand over to our next generation. And these are all certain things which cannot be overlooked, this cannot be denied, this cannot be denied. But it can, like for the 33 vertebrates concept, can be tested on a biological lab. So this is where the entire, the Deha contains this. And what happened? Indriyanam. Indriyam is the different parts of the Deha. Mano, Buddhi, Indriyanam, Indriyani, Mano, Buddhi, from Tejo, Balam, everything, Dhriti. All these things are coming, flowing through that. So that is why I say Sanatana is eternal order. We have inherited, we have to hand it over. Whether we manifest or not, whether we do it or not, it will be as sure as that it will be taken over by the next generation, inherited by the next generation, and that is the beauty of Sanatana. Now, I am not touching upon the 4 Vedas, the type of recitation of Vedas, etc., etc., but I will briefly give you a little overview on them. Now, you have 33 vertebrates. You have the power of recitation, whatever you like, whether you call it Ganesha, whether you call it Shiva, you call it Vishnu, Ayyappa, Durga, whatever. Most of the places you will, most of the texts which have been inherited by us, they were basically taught in a Shruti Smriti tradition. Shruti means the power of hearing and Smriti means power of retention. Memorizing. Of course, now the grunts have come. It is all available in terms of literature, and many people have started even self-study. So best wishes to them. But there is a very important point. There is a case of output maximization. The output maximization is through something called Chandasa. Everywhere there will be a sankalpa that I am going to do this. A. Number 2 is this will be done in this Chandasa, Anushtup Chandasa, Gayatri Chanda. Everything has a particular number behind this. That intonation gives it exponentially increases the power which shall be bestowed upon your Deha, mind, Buddhi, ecosystem, Tejas, Dhriti, everywhere. So that is where the Chandasa is Anushtup Chanda hai, Vishwamitra Chanda hai, Ushnika Chanda hai, Gayatri Chanda hai, like that. So that is how it comes. Now, for example, Chandasi means the number of words in that. That is the way it is defined. Now, Gayatri Chandasa incidentally has 24 letters and 24 words in the Gayatri mantra, and that is why it is not Gayatri. Similarly, number of letters is predetermined. And it is that type of a stanza it is coming out. We do not, this is too premature to take you into the Mula Mantra, then the Krama Pata, and the Jata Parayana, and Ganam, and all that. That's all much. Talking of Ganam. Gana. We call, what do we call Gana? Mathematics is the purest form of Gana. That is the reason it is known as Gana Iti, Ganita. Gananam Iti, Ganita. Gana means logic. Gananam Isha is Ganesha. Ganesha. So this is how this is something which is not disputable. It can never be disputed. Gananam Isha Ganesha. And how do we, so that means anything which is logical is Ganesha, is manifested by Ganesha. How do you validate a logic? What do you call this? Call it postulate. How do we validate it? There are two ways of life. In the modern study techniques, one is known as the derivative process. The derivation, the set of derivation. The derivation in our own language is called Siddh Karna. Siddh Karna means derivation. That is, I have established that this is the logic. I have established through my derivation, mathematical derivation, chemical derivation, physical derivation, whatever is a body of knowledge. And there is another way of derivation. That is through mathematical induction. Many people must have studied this binomial theorem or Leibniz theorem and all in mathematics. You say if x is true for n number of terms and x is true for n plus 1 number of terms, then it is. Who does it? Or there's an indirect problem. You introduce. To introduce that, what do you require? Mind, buddhi. Through that, you validate that this is the logic and this is validated. So that is the reason Ganasya Isha, Gananam Isha has got two consorts, coordinators, partners. They are known as Siddhi, Buddhi, Ganesha. They are all very simple principle all around us. Those who are doing in Sanatana, they may be sensitized to that, they may not be sensitized to that. But the issue again is that this is how the Sanatana order works. So we take it forward. When we take it forward, so this is, I have defined you the precepts of Shiva Shaktya. We have defined the process of Sampat Sampati. How they consort. Why I am saying consort? Many of my listeners must be married. And they must have married as per the Hindu rituals, the Sanatani rituals. And undertaking the 7 vows which are prescribed in the Sanatani rituals. You know one thing, the first ritual, the first step you take, the first vow you take, the man takes with his wife or the consort or whatever he calls it, is Ekamishe Vishnu Anvetu. We are on to one, we are together, we integrate ourselves, unify ourselves, wish to sustain the humanity. The second vow they take is Dva Cha Urja Vishnu Anvetu. That is, you are my energy. The husband says, you are my energy. That is the energy. I am the process, you are the energy. So that type of a consortium. I'm just giving you an example. That is the way it is. I'm trying to explain it through examples which you might have experienced yourself. Many of the Brahmins, I do not know, the Pandits who are conducting the marriages, whether they explain this or not. And Saptasati, that is the reason. The most important ritual in a Sanatani marriage. And that is how the vows are. So, what means the energy? Who is the energy? The women is the energy. That is how it comes out. So, Dvasya Urja. As a sequel to that, similarly, here also what we are saying is Shiva Shakti. Shakti drives the Shiva. Otherwise, and incidentally, in Sanskrita, Striling is or as Ikaranta. If you remove Ikar from Shiva, what does it mean? If the E is removed from Shiva, it becomes Shava, simple matter of no use. That is the reason everywhere Everything is a manifestation of Shiva Shakti. And if you remove the Ikaranta from Shiva, it is only a Shava. This is how the Sanatana precepts are defined and inherited by us. Whether you agree with me or not, but this is the truth. Another name of, in the opening statement, I had said one very interesting thing. Practice Sanatana. Practice the rituals. And without any expectation, selflessly practice. Because when I say our existence is Jivaratna is Shiva, and the power driving behind Shiva is Shakti, that is Shiva Shaktya. Sometimes people challenge me, what is Ardhanarishwara? I have studied this and I give them an example of a small industrial unit called cement manufacturing. You know, cement manufacturing, there will be many such instances, there will be enormous number of instances where the feedstock and the source of energy are the same. Unless and until new technologies have developed, traditionally that was the same. Why I am saying is, there are many ways, many instances, many where the Shiva Shakti, the differentiation between them is annulled. It's almost dissolved. And that way, the husband and wife together, or the Shiva Shakti together, perform certain things. And where the functional differentiation, whether it is the power which is driving the process or whether it is the process which is generating the power, is indistinguishable. That is the concept of Ardhana. Similarly, we have the name of Shiva as Mahadeva. Mahadeva is two basic vices arrest you from the true practice of a Sanatani. The two vices are aham, moha. Moha, aham. If you conquer these two, that is, moha is desire, aham is ego. If you conquer these two, you also become Mahadeva, one unto himself. You are a true Sanatani. That is how the concept of Sanatani, every concept of Sanatani is defined. Karanam, Karanam, Kritva. The people nowadays talk of cause effect. Our Sanatani traditions, I am quoting from Vishnu Sahasranama, but in many other places also there will be very clear messages. There will be clear thing. Karanam, Karanam, Kritva. That is, Karanam means the work, the process. Karanam is the cause of the process. Kritva is the element which is causing the process, which is undergoing the process, whatever it is. So, like that, for everything you have to simply have, you can learn the precepts by yourself. You don't require, of course, Guru will fine-tune you, give you a perception, give you a vision, give you a hand-holding, and Guru Bhyo Namah is absolutely right thing. When you don't find appropriate Guru, Lord Mahadeva himself, meditating to him in the room in the form of Dakshinamurti or normal Mahadeva himself, will handhold you and lead you to this understanding of these concepts. There is no need to be going in search of a Guru or going in search of very surface-based, very superficial methodologies which are adopted by many people. Thank you. I would like to take some questions. I wanted it interactive.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, Mr. Mali.
Thank you. Good
I
morning.
want to know, I would like to ask, as many would like to say, is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam a central tenet of Sanatana Dharma? As we all know that it is a phrase from Panchatantra where a cunning jackal utters this sentence.
Udara Charitanam Sri Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, see, Vasudeva Kutumbakam is a subset of the total Sanatana order. You have to see that. That is the reason one unto themselves. Swadharma, Varnadharma, Sanatana Dharma. So it is on a middle path. You do your duty, you do your dharma, you be aligning yourself with dharma. What does Patanjali Yoga says? Indriya, Prana, Manasa, Buddhi. That is the stages in which it takes you through the yoga. First the Indriya, first the bodily exercises. People think yoga is an exercise now. So if everybody is able to do and raise to the level of Siddhi Yoga, Vasudeva, it's a sort of an aggregation of all individual Siddhi Yoga is Vasudeva Kutumbakam and it is one. So, Aham Brahmosmi Tattvamasi is there, Lord Krishna has said that. So, Vasudeva Kutumbakam is nothing. We are in Vasudeva Kutumbakam, only thing is it is dispersed, it is distributed widely in different sects. What we do is do our own dharma. Integrations will start happening. That is how Vasudeva Kutumbakam, we have to start our own dharma first. You just don't go and negotiate and bring somebody to your line or let him realize for himself, and it is all one. Aham Brahmosmi, Tattvamasi. He is also a manifestation. He is also a manifestation of Lord Shiva or Lord, whatever is your Ishtadevata. But he is also sustaining himself. He is also performing the work of Vishnu. He is also using energy. She is also the energy of somebody, if she is a person. So that way the Vasudeva Kutumbakam is an aggregation of all these Sanatana entities, what we call themselves as Deham. Marityasya Swayama Ye Sharira Kalpayandu, Te Te Deha Kalpayandu. We are all embodied into a sort of a Deha. So that is what is there. So all this aggregation automatically leads to Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And Vasudeva Kutumbakam is there. The attitude has to come first at the level of physical effects, then at the level of mental, and thereafter the ecosystem will start. More and more people should work to one another. Conflict resolution can be done, as you said, by the Vasudeva Kutumbakam, provided we reach a certain level of maturity of our own Sanatana precepts, Dharma, our own Sanatana practices. If you can level, I even tell people not to go for filing cases in the court. That is what I'm working at. I'm not an advocate. In fact, I counsel them not to fight. Because Sahamati, convergence, this convergence comes through that. The Shiva Shaktiya pattern only gives you convergence. And that convergence is Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Ganesha, next.
So I have a point to make. I would just like to know your thoughts on this. Like when it is about dharma, when we are fighting against adharma, in whatever capacity, be it as a politician or as an academic, in whatever ways, in our own capacity, when we are doing something dharmic. So it is always said that, when it is about dharma, it is always about the Shakti, Durga. So we also have examples from our Shastras, on the request of Shri Krishna, Arjun prayed to Ma Durga before going to the battle. Same was with Ram. So why, why do you think, why it is just only about this supreme Shakti, when it is about dharma? Otherwise, we always talk about, Sanatan is incomplete without Shiva Shakti. You have explained it very well. But when it comes to fighting for dharma against adharma, it is always about the Shakti. So your take on this?
Basically what? What does Krishna says? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskita dharma sansthapanamapi sambhavami yuge. Bhavami, bhava, we have discussed about how Krishna is also a manifestation of Lord Shiva or whatever it is. Bhavami, so bhava has come. Now, sanstapana is the process. Dharma, to restore order is the process. Am I correct? Am I correct? Restore order is the process. What do you require to restore order? The Shakti manifests itself, if you have read Durga Shaptasiddhi in Tantrika, in 24 forms. Buddhi Rupena Samstita, Nidra Rupena Samstita, Chuda Rupena. See, wherever you have to forgive, even in a battlefield, you have to do. For that also you require power. It requires real guts. It real power to even forgive somebody who has. So like that, it is all. That is the reason the prayers to Shakti. The Shakti is Avahayami. Shakti has to be, you have to energize yourself for Dharma Sanstapana. Otherwise, as I said, Striling nikal do Shiv mein se, E nikal do, to wo Shav ho gaya, we are all matters. So that is the importance of Shakti. That is the importance of Shakti. That is the reason they prayers to Shakti. Whether whatever 24 forms we require for every minute, every thing of survival, we require Shakti. Shakti. Otherwise, our survival is zero. If my prana is not there, what am I? I am Shava, not Shiva. As long as I am speaking, again I tell you, fourth or fifth woe in the marriage also it says, you are the idea, you are I am the speaker, you are the words. Like that, the husband and wife take a promise. Why husband promises to the wife. So that is the reason when I am speaking here, it is some Shakti which is making me speak. Whether it is knowledge, whether it is watch, whatever it is. So Shakti is important. Without Shakti, what? If you remove Shakti, if you remove E from Shiva, Ikaranta is in Sanskrit Striling, na? In
Yes.
Striling, Ikaranta they say. If you remove that Ikaranta from Shiva, E from Shiva, what does it left? It is Shava. So that is the reason for every noble thing you require Shakti, you require resources, you require Buddhi, you require some physical strength, whatever, depending upon the mission, depending upon the process, you require the skills. Depending upon, because he was first Dharma Sanstapana of the Dharma, he required ability to even demolish the demons. He required ultimate skills. And what does it ultimately say so? What type of skills he acquired by praying to the Shakti? Today, even today, it is the benchmark. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. The Shakti which is Partha as a Dhanurdhara. In competence is unmatched. That is the benchmark. That is the highest level, ideal for every student. That's what I even tell students about that. So that is the reason I say he prayed for Shakti and he achieved that. Whether through Guru Dharma or whatever Dharma, Shakti is extremely important. I may have the best Guru in the world. I may get all the Harvard professor teaching me and still I could fail. So these are all happening around us. So that is the reason Shakti is also equally. Shiva Shakti are equivalent. They are consort, I said. In a consortium, they are equal status partners. It is a consortium of Shiva and Shakti. It's a consortium of Sampat and Sampatti. The consortium of Brahma Vidya. That is the way it is.
True. Yes. Anyone else?
And one more thing. If Shakti is not used for Shiva, Mangala, for good thing, what happens? When Lakshmi Rupa and Samsita is somebody is imbibed, and if he is not using it for the good causes, Shankaroti, good, Acha karne wala hi Shankar hota hai. Shankaroti iti Shankar hai. And if it is not used for Shankara, it will be used somewhere. That will be detrimental to the society, that will be detrimental to the order. What did Duryodhana do? He did not do he had the Shakti, but he did not use it for the thing. Ravana, had the highest Shakti than anybody, and he had the blessings of Lord Shiva also. But ultimately, to put an end to the nature, Shiva had to take avatara himself and then make him do the wrong so that he could be vanquished. So these are all other parts of the story, but this is how the entire theme of Sanatana comes.
True. Yes. It's incomplete Shiva and Shakti. That's what this entire philosophy is all about. So, about ahem also, not like we often translate it as ego. Like you mentioned about aham brahmasmi. So, ahem and ego, I mean, it is translating into it as ego, So, this
Aham.
also has its own problems.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
aham.
Aham. Aham is me.
Hmm.
When it comes to aham bhava, nobody but me.
Hmm.
That is ego. When the bhava is aham, aham as a existent, aham as a bhava, normal existence as a child of the Sanatana, aham, all of us are equal. But when we say aham bhava, I
Mm-hmm.
am there and I am only there. Nobody can deliver this more than me. Aham bhava, I am superior. That aham bhava, when it comes, you have to conquer that. Moha and aham bhava. Moha bhava, the desire, the greed, and the aham bhava, the ego, they have to be conquered only then. You know, there is a Shivalinga inside you. There is a pratima of yours inside you, in the form of a bone. You know that? If you go to
No,
the
sir.
after the funeral, the cremation, some of the workers of the cremation ground says, "Sab Atmaram mila, Atmalingi mila." Means your own posture in Padmasana, the bone is there.
Hmm.
That is sometimes they show it. Not all of them are able to. After the body is burnt, after the deha is confined to fires, not all of them get that. Next day when you do the Sanjayana, there is a Atmalinga. So only very few, very gifted, very people who have done very good deeds get it intact. Otherwise, it is also get burnt. But certain places, the linga is your own particular pratima, as is where is retrieved from your ashes. I'm not trying to do anything negative, but that is the way it is. Those who live the dharmic order, they will have that. That is the best test of any person living dharma. Kapala moksha and this. So that is how it has to go. Don't take it negatively, but that is also one of the validation of how those who have conquered or who have been closer, who have lived the dharmic life. That is a validation of that. That's what I want. It has got nothing to do with death, but death is a certain thing. Deha anta. It is called a deha anta. Called doesn't leave. Deha only leave. Anta hota hai. So on the deha anta, the 20 out of this also comes.
And maybe that is why we do not believe in the concept of uh, death completely in Sanatan Dharma, because life, it is a
So,
it is a circle. Hmm.
right, you are
Because
absolutely right.
it
The soul
depends
takes
on our karmic
soul takes
cycle.
another karmic cycle. Soul takes
Yes,
another form.
true. Hmm.
Atman takes another form.
This entire philosophy is actually so vast. Entire lifetime is also incomplete to understand.
Right.
And as I was listening to you, I was just thinking that I know nothing. We know nothing, and there is so much to learn, so much to read. This entire
Whatever
life
you
is complete.
whatever you know, that is also, as they say, yoga jnanam tata sankyam vidya shilpadi karmacha veda shastra ne vijnanam etat sarvam janardana. Whatever is know is a gift of God, Janardana's God. So this is what
Of
has
the
been said in
Shakti.
Mantra. Okay? So that is the way it is. Thank you very much. Actually,
Thank you
I would
so
have
much, sir.
continued.